So I'm tonight mostly just setting up my mentor and friend and hero, John Lewis. But I want to say mostly just tonight, thank you, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Congress representative, mentor, hero, seminary graduate, John Lewis, for helping some of us be able to love the church again. Like Jackie Robinson helped Branch Rickey love baseball again. I mean, the scriptures, I was told to care about the Bible as an evangelical, but they didn't read it much. The scriptures are so clear, and Dr. King got it right when he said our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require a qualitative change in our souls, as well as a quantitative change in our lives. And John Lewis said, as a nation, and as a people, as a home, as a family, we've made a lot of progress. We've come a distance, but we're still not there. We have not yet created the beloved community. We have not come to that point where we recognize the dignity and worth of every human being. It is still a struggle. We still have a distance to go before we create one family, one house, the American house. You know the Galatians text that we often quote, there can be no division in the Jew and non-Jew, slave and free, male and female. Among us you are all equal. That is, we are all in common relationship with Christ Jesus. That was a baptismal text. In the early church, they used that to baptize the new converts, because this corresponded to the classic divisions of humankind: race, class, gender. And Paul was saying these divisions are going to be broken down as we gather around Jesus Christ. Then he said in Romans 12, don't let the world, don't be so well adjusted to your culture. That's what he said. That you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. From the Tower of Babel, this biblical movement toward reaching out, going and filling all the earth, God's cultural mandate to be a blessing to all nations, always was more and more and more people. And finally, in Revelation, at the very end, it's an amazing text, Revelation 7, 9 and 10. As we stand to worship God at the end of time, our human cultures are not abolished and replaced with a new, otherworldly, heavenly culture. It says, no, our cultures in all their diversity, our manifestations of language and ethnicity and nationality are preserved in holy unity. Our collective but distinctive expressions of God are revealed. After this I looked, and there was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, from all tribes and peoples and languages, standing before the throne, before the Lamb, robed in white, with palm branches in their hands. They cried out in a loud voice, saying, salvation belongs to our God, who is seated on the throne. All of us, in all our great diversity. Now, when we study the civil rights movement, we often forget that this was not just a political movement, that these things for Dr. King were theological and not just political. In a book called Search for the Beloved Community, thinking of Martin King Jr., authors Kenneth Smith and Ira Zepp described how set this was for King. The purpose, he said, of the Montgomery bus boycott wasn't just to get equal access for both blacks and whites to all the seats, but, King said, for reconciliation and redemption and the creation of the beloved community. Montgomery bus boycott. That's what he said. The mission statement of SCLC boldly asserted the ultimate aim of SCLC is to foster and create the beloved community in America where brotherhood and sisterhood is a reality. King saw the church as a microcosm of what the society was supposed to be. Historian Charles Marsh talks about King created a democratic argument based on the theological meaning of Galatians 3:28. It was supposed to radiate out from the churches and create this new kind of society. That's what it was meant to be. So I want to just conclude tonight by two things. One is directly about policy, politics, application. It come from the letter from the Birmingham jail for us right now in our time. The other is a very painful personal story of how the church is still not getting it. Policy. Family, friends of ours, Colorado, had a little kid, little boy, and this kid, at 5, 6 years old, he would stand down the fireplace and he would just recite the speeches of Dr. King to family guests. He just loved Dr. King. He was 5 years old, white kid. And parents would come, and his parents didn't even know why he was doing it. He just would talk about, he would give the I Have a Dream speech, after dinner. But he felt like he'd missed the civil rights movement, and he felt so badly because he was too young. He read about John Lewis, but he wasn't part of it. So he got into Teach for America and went to the Delta in Mississippi. He got a sign there. Why? So he could see all the places. He could see the monuments, the places, the history, just see it and feel it. But when he got there and he saw the education of kids in the rural South, he understood that the civil rights movement will not be completed until those kids have educational opportunity.